All right, are we live? No backup here, so I'm just gonna make sure that this thing is streaming before I begin. Okay, we look to be live. Going through here. All right, so we're live. I'm gonna shrink this screen, make sure that everything is playing, but I normally don't do impromptu live broadcasts. I usually schedule everything in advance and have some time to talk about it and make sure I've got all my ducks in a row and I have my edits. I don't have my FU bomb button ready right now, so if I say something like that, I'm going to have to bite my tongue. But FU NFL. FU NFLPA. For 2 weeks, you have known the truth and you hid it. You have been lying to every NFL fan in the country and out of the country. You have been lying. You knew it when you fired that doctor because he was the independent consultant. You knew it then. You didn't like the results that came out. You hid him from the public. You were supposed to, they told us. They said, hey, listen, we're going to give you the results on Thursday before I don't even know who played in that shitty game, the Denver Broncos and Colts. You were going to bring it to us then. Now, 2 weeks later, after the guy had been fired, you release a report on late Friday afternoon after all the media outlets had closed. At about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock is when you released it. You dumped it on the weekend. And then today on a Saturday while college football is playing, you usher in this other report. And then you try to fast forward and get something put in place before the games on Sunday. That is some piss poor management, and you got caught with your pants down, and you owe people an apology. Now, just so you understand, at this point, I'm going to go through a timeline for you. Let's see, let me just make sure. Okay, yeah, my head is on the screen. I'm good with that. So I'm going to go through a timeline so you can see specifically what exactly happened. So let's go to the split screen real quick. So on Ian Rappaport, he posts this. Let's see, what time was it? He put this out at 5:50 p.m. yesterday. 5:50 p.m. yesterday. All the newsrooms had closed down for the weekend. There was nobody around. And it says in this statement, our union has agreed to change the concussion protocols to protect players from returning to the play in case of any similar incident to what we saw on September 25th. That's key because what they saw isn't what they were looking at. Everyone, every pundit, Stephen A., all said, I know what I'm talking about. I've seen a concussion. I know what a concussion is. Concussion is what Tua had. Tua had a concussion. You can't tell me any BS about his back. Yeah, but let's hold on to that because that first paragraph is BS. We would like to see these changes to go into effect before this weekend's game to immediately protect the players and hope the NFL accepts the change before then as well. So they want to rush in this new rule that nobody has seen and put it into effect before tomorrow. I wonder why. So let's look at the next thing here Ian reported. Ian put this one out. This came out after the NFLPA report. This one came out 6:21 last night while you're probably having dinner out with friends or whatever. It says, as we have discussed with the NFLPA, meaning this discussion was ongoing, they knew, we agree that changes to the joint NFLPA protocols are necessary to further enhance player safety. We have already spoken to members of the NFL Head, Spine, and Neck Committee and the leadership of the UNC, the unaffiliated neurotrauma consultants, and independent certified athletic trainers who serve as spotters to discuss these things. So last night, if you just can imagine here real quick, last night they're sitting around concocting these press releases on a Friday night when everybody else is out to dinner, getting ready for Saturday afternoon games, and they're sitting there going, hey man, we got to come up with something. We were supposed to put it out on Thursday. We didn't put it out on Thursday, and now we got to put something out, but we don't want to wait till Monday when all the focus is going to be on the NFL, and we definitely don't want to put it out on Sunday and confuse the teams. Let's put it out on Saturday when no one's looking, and maybe we can just shove it through. Okay, so Chris Mortensen from ESPN says that NFL and NFLPA have reached agreement on amended concussion protocols in effect starting Sunday, tomorrow. Per sources, both sides focused on a medical condition known as ataxia, which is any abnormality of balance, stability, coordination, or speech considered only neurological event. Now understand, read that, any abnormality of balance, stability, coordination, or speech. So anytime tomorrow a player gets hurt and he has an instability or balance issue, it's going to trigger this thing. It may not even be a head trauma. This is where this thing is going. We might be playing flag football before too long. Let me put that back up so you can see it. NFL and NFLPA have reached agreement on amended concussion protocols. Both sides focus on a medical condition known as ataxia. I didn't have that on the screen, so I just want to bring it up so you guys can see it. This is insane. And they put this on a Saturday. This came out at 4:37, as you can see, p.m. today. So let's continue down this line. Then Tom Pelissero, again an ESPN reporter, says NFL Chief Medical Officer Dr. Alan Sills, you've seen him all over the news. He's been defending the UNC, the unaffiliated neurological consultant who looked at Tua, speaking passionately. Oh, I got to get a copy of this. Passionately on a Zoom, saying all doctors involved with Tua Tagovailoa operated with absolute integrity, and video alone doesn't provide the best diagnosis. Well, I thought Rex Ryan and Stephen A. and all these guys said, hey, listen, I've been in football for 40 years. I know what a concussion looks like. It's BS if you tell me otherwise. Yet the doctors are like, well, we're telling you otherwise. We're telling you what you think you know, you don't know. Maybe that's why you're not coaching anymore. Jim Harbaugh, I don't know what you're saying. I mean, this is really, really, really nuts. So he goes, these people are the people that you would want caring for you. And that's at 5:25 today. So a little over 20 or 30 minutes ago. Follow this timeline. So Tom Pelissero continues. While the investigation determined that the team medical staff and unaffiliated medical professionals, unaffiliated important, meaning these weren't Dolphins trainers. These weren't Dolphins doctors. Everyone kept saying the Dolphins let it happen. No, they didn't. Followed the steps of the protocol as written. The NFL and NFLPA agree that the outcome in this case is not what was intended with the protocols when they were drafted. So what you're saying is the Dolphins, Mike McDaniel, and everybody else associated with Tua, they followed the protocols, but the protocols were bad. So whose fault is that? If the protocol said X, Y, and Z, and they did it and he passed, then what's the problem? Why is everyone in the media doing everything they possibly can to attack Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins organization, and Tua Tagovailoa? But hold on, it gets better. I'm trying to show you chronologically how much crazy this actually gets. So let's go to the next one. His next tweet, you guys can see it. The NFL and the NFLPA announce they agree concussion protocols were properly applied with Tua Tagovailoa. Period. I can stop there. I don't want to read all the small print. You can read it. Everything was done by the book and according to protocol. Every single one of the people on ESPN, Pro Football Talk, Florio, Miss Sims, all of you, Colin Coward, you're all full of, and I can't say the word because I'm live and I don't have my button. But you guys know. You guys absolutely know. But let's continue. It gets even better. So I'm going to go to our local guy here, Barry Jackson, with the Herald, who's getting this news directly from the NFL. The Tua investigation is complete. It's been complete. I guarantee you they finished this investigation a long time ago, but the egg that was all over their face, they had no way to get rid of it. The NFL and the union say, while the investigation determined that the team, medical staff, and affiliated medical professionals followed the steps of the protocol wasn't what we expected. This you have to understand, even if you're a Tua hater, you can no longer blame the Miami Dolphins and Mike McDaniel for what happened beyond the Buffalo Bills game. It's insane. But there's more. This was at 4:43 p.m., if you guys can see on the bottom. Here's his next tweet. The protocols were drafted, thus the policy change, and here's where it all blows up. Mr. Tagovailoa, this is a quote from the report. Mr. Tagovailoa did not report or exhibit any signs or symptoms of concussion during his locker room exam, during the remainder of the game, or throughout the following week. Read that again. Share it with your friends. Share it with everyone who's been basically lambasting Mike McDaniel. Share it around. Quote, Mr. Tagovailoa did not report or exhibit any signs. None. He didn't exhibit any signs or symptoms of concussion during his locker room exam and during the remainder of the game or throughout the following week. That's it. I have a couple more I'm going to show you, but that's it. They lied. The NFL lied. They let the media attack Tua and Mike McDaniel and say everything they could about the Miami Dolphins organization, telling him Tua needs to retire, all the while knowing he never exhibited any signs. Not one, not maybe two. Even the, Mike, Stephen A. with his gross motor instability. He didn't exhibit any signs. Period. It was all farce. It was to attack this young kid. I don't care what anybody says at this point. You used this entire incident to attack Tua Tagovailoa. You have to wonder why. But let's look at some more here. Got a couple more for you. So here we go. The NFL, let me make sure it's on the screen. The NFL and the union said Dolphins doctors and independent neurologists, quote, properly viewed the video of the play in question as required by the protocol and engaged in a locker room examination of Mr. Tagovailoa before the player was cleared to return to play. Again, every single person in the media completely blew it. We said it. I know I did. I know a lot of other Dolphins people said it. Wait for the report. But no, I know what I see. I see what I see. And I know what I see. You're not going to tell me any BS because I know what I see. No, you didn't know crap. You got on television, everyone you pundits, and you pushed the narrative that is now just being smeared all over your face because you just hate the Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa. There's no excuse. Where's your apology? I feel like, if you guys are old enough, you remember The Godfather. Apology, Senator. Apology, Senator. This is the most egregious thing I've seen the NFL go through in a while. It was all BS. They were pulling the wool over people's eyes, and just doing this stuff. Let's go on to the next one. The next one says, the NFL and union, this is the one I just read. Let me go to the next one. More from the union. The joint investigation. Mr. Tagovailoa did not report or exhibit any signs or symptoms of concussion during his locker room exam during the remainder. So this is Barry reiterating what the other people in ESPN writers are saying. There were no symptoms. None. Any means all. None. Nothing happened. And they lied. It's unbelievable. I mean, I like this one. Now, this one here. Focus on this one. The team physician and the UNC did not conduct an examination of Mr. Tagovailoa's back during the concussion examination, but instead relied on the earlier examination conducted by other members of the medical staff. So the earlier staff said, yeah, he hurt his back. These guys came in, okay, I understand his back is hurt. We get that. But, we're looking to see if he's got a concussion. Can you follow me around? How many fingers? Who's president today? Oh, actually, we don't know that. And they lied. He passed everything with flying colors. And they're disappointed. They're actually disappointed that they found out that the NFL lied. Let's go to the next one here. And this one here, I love this one. This one is, again, from Barry. I like that name. The medical staff involved determined that the gross motor instability, the GMI, suffered by Tua was not neurologically caused. They concluded the player's back injury was the cause of his observed instability, and there's a period there. It was a back injury. They knew it. They'd known it all along. I can't stress how big of an issue this is. They knew that the GMI was caused by his back and was not neurologically a symptom or cause of concussion. They lied to everybody. It's unreal what they've done here. And I don't know what they're going to do. So they got to rush in some new concussion protocol just to save some face. And these guys are supposedly running the league. And this was at 4:48, So they're almost upset. That guy that was running around saying he was a concussion expert and that he knew what was going on, he didn't need to see because he's a concussion expert. The guy's actually upset. Look at what he posted here. This is crazy. The protocol, sadly, the protocol may not have been violated, which isn't what you've been saying for 2 weeks. Common sense was violated. Appropriate medical care was violated. Tua Tagovailoa was violated. You violated Tua Tagovailoa. You violated the Miami Dolphins. You violated the fans of the Miami Dolphins. You violated Tua Tagovailoa's family and friends. You're a piece of... I can't say the word. You got out there, you said he should retire, you blamed everybody in existence and said, I know what I see, and you can't change my mind. Well, now the report is out. We all know that Tua was held back because of optics, and this guy, if he wants to, and I think he will, needs to be on the field next weekend. If he wants to and he feels comfortable, there is no reason why Tua Tagovailoa can't finish this season. I don't care if he takes next week off as well. But stop. You got to stop now. You've been found out. You're all liars. The media's full of crap. You've been doing nothing but trying to build a narrative to try to get this kid out of the league, and now you've been exposed. On a Saturday, albeit. So let me know what you guys think. Let's take some comments here. Sure. Let me look at some comments. Where are they here? All right. So what you guys got to say? Lenny, where are you? Yeah, Tua is sitting at home laughing at all this. He probably is, and he probably should be, because he's known. He's obviously known. Tua has definitely known what's been going on all this time. All these guys. Wow, I got a bunch of comments lined up here. Let me get to some of them. So let me get my comment thing strategy here. I mean, you guys got to be pissed off. You got to be pissed off at what you've been seeing. I like this one here. This is a good question. What is the purpose of the protocol if we aren't going to adhere by it? I don't think you watched the last 20 minutes or so. What do you mean? The protocol was adhered to. That's just it. The protocol was adhered to. I'm wondering why people don't understand this. I get it in all my video comments, and people keep talking about, they put him in danger. The protocol was adhered to. It wasn't a concussion. He hurt his back. What's so hard to sink in? I mean, you're a victim of the media at this time if you don't realize that the protocol was adhered to. You're absolutely right. Antonio B says, go Dolphins, love the exposure. The NFL should be ashamed. Yeah, but they won't be. They don't care. They don't care about this. They just need to sweep it under the rug, stick in this ataxia amendment, and just move on to this week's games. Watch how many guys go down this weekend. With this new amended concussion protocol, they're going to just take guys out left and right. You bet. What do you mean we don't know who's president right now? Yeah, I'm not going to get in that. Okay. What do you got to say here? The NFL needs to make a public apology to the Miami Dolphins and medical staff. Give us back our first-round pick because of their smear job. And I agree with you. They need to make a public apology. They obviously had this information. They knew it all along, and they just did this to the Dolphins. It's atrocious. Okay. Yeah, Pablo, you're absolutely right. Tua is the NFL equivalent of Trump in the fake media. Completely fake media. Completely. They're just making shit up. It's complete clickbait. For 2 weeks, it was on every single show. Now watch how fast it disappears. Watch how fast ESPN and the rest of them just stop talking about it. They'll talk about the new rule implementation, but they won't admit that they were completely wrong. They won't do it. You can... It's just Robert says, you can match wits with these idiots. They think you can't, but we have. Yeah, we can match. There's a number of people who can go toe-to-toe with them because it's easy. It's easy when you follow fact instead of just trying to push your narrative onto people. You have to remember a lot of these networks, it's all about advertising. They have to satisfy advertisers with eyeballs to charge people, and so it's entertainment and it's opinion. Yeah, Darren Fleming, you're absolutely right. This whole thing is a joke, but it's a joke on us. They tried to play it on Miami Dolphins fans. There's a shot for COVID, but not a shot for stupid. You're absolutely right. Yeah, this is what they're going to call it. You're right. They're calling the changing protocol the Tua rule. I'm sure it's to blame him. Yep, that's exactly what they do. Now they're going to stain this kid basically for NFL eternity with this new rule called the Tua rule, just like they had the Rooney rule. Now this is going to be the Tua rule. What do we got here? So many Dolphin haters within the sports journals and NFL top brass. First, we are here punished for the apparent tampering, and now because we are serious contenders, there's a witch hunt for Tua and McDaniel. And it won't stop. It won't stop. Now that they've been embarrassed, watch them amp things up. It could get actually worse. This is interesting. I'm wondering if this is something to do with the sale of the Miami Dolphins. There's a big company looking to buy the Dolphins and 3 other sports teams. I haven't heard that. I would love to look into that. Let me know what kind of information you have on that. I'll start digging. Yeah, send it over. Somebody posted a comment I can't dare put on YouTube. But anyway, the media is just hands down awful on the way today. Treated our quarterback awful. Every single last one of them should come out with a public apology, but they won't. They have no retribution. They don't care. They're basically psychopaths at this point in terms of they're sports psychopaths. They'll do anything to get ratings, and if it means tearing down Tua and the Dolphins, so be it. Yeah, Adam, you're absolutely right. That's what I feel. I feel it's only going to get worse because once you embarrass somebody, they get pissed. And the kid didn't do anything. He got up from the Buffalo game, went into the locker room, went through, as we know now, every exam they wanted him to take. He passed them all, had no signs from any doctor that said he had a neurological disorder or a concussion, and he came back and played and won the game. But they don't want to hear that because, he beat the Bills. The Bills are supposed to be the Super Bowl contender. This is a bunch of crap. Now, in the Cincinnati game, yeah, he probably had a concussion. I mean, he got nailed pretty hard on that play, but he didn't have 2 concussions back-to-back as everybody been trying to allege. Let's see. Okay, this one here. Protocol was followed first. Second, no one is talking about the fact that the Bengals back-to-back hits on Tua, and he never showed the first hit, just the one, and the Bills hit was laughable. Well, I mean, he did take a good stick. It was a penalty. It was flagrant. And obviously targeting, if it was college football, the guy would have been thrown out of the game. I want to know why they don't do that in the NFL. Why don't they have a targeting penalty in the NFL? If somebody comes, you want to stop concussions? If somebody comes at you and they hit you, out of bounds or do something like throw you down, like the guy did in Cincinnati, why don't you toss him out the game? You're putting this on Tua. He was the guy that got hurt. What about the guy who injured him? What about the guy in the Buffalo Bills game who pushed him? He got a 15-yard penalty and was able to keep playing. The guy you hurt has to go off the field. The guy who does the hurting, you get a penalty, you get to keep going. In the NFL, in college, and you've seen it today, you get tossed. That would be a rule I think would really work in the NFL. And you're right, they can't do targeting in the NFL because these people are getting paid too much. Well, don't target. If you know you're going to get tossed out of the game if you get caught for targeting, there's a real simple remedy. Just don't target. That's what I'm looking at. I like how they said that this guy was hostile during the investigation. I bet you what's going to come out is, why was this guy hostile? If he did the report and he filed the report, what was his hostility generated from? Did they try to force him to change the report? That's what I think we're going to find out, because there's no reason to be hostile. Hey, here's what the kid looked like. Here's what the symptoms were. There were no symptoms. He was fine. No, man, you need to change that. I'm not changing this. I need you to change that and say he had a concussion. No. All right, you're fired. All right, frig it. I'm fired. What else would he have been hostile about? Think about that for a second. The guy who they fired because they say, there were some different things and he was hostile, what could he possibly have been hostile about? The only thing he could have been hostile about is they were trying to get him to change the report. There's nothing else to be hostile about. It wasn't like he said he had a concussion and then changed it to he didn't have a concussion. They'd have been happy with that. No, he didn't have any symptoms of a concussion. He wrote that in his report, and then he was summarily fired. Why? Because he wouldn't change it. There was obviously pressure on him to change it. That's got to come out. Someone's got to do some investigative journalism and get to that. Rain Man here says, wow, I didn't realize get so many comments on an impromptu video. It's crazy how big of a deal they're making this when I see a lot worse head injuries happen every week during boxing MMA events. Usman was KO'd clean by Edwards, but no one is calling for his retirement. Nope. Not going to happen. Yep. I like this one here. Says, Mike McDaniel is the best coach we've had since Shula and cares the most about his players, and his reputation was attacked and smeared everywhere. The NFL should apologize to Mike. He didn't deserve this. Not at all. Didn't deserve it whatsoever. Let's see here. Let me find one. This is interesting. Yeah, they are definitely targeting Tua for sure. Those two hits in the Bengals game, they were trying to hurt him. Same with the Bills hits. I think the word is out. People think, quote, he's fragile. He's prone to injury, and they all know it. And at this point, I think they are indeed trying to hurt the kid. Man, good point about the UFC. Yep, that's absolutely right. Bell rung without concussions. Let's see what we got. I'm trying to get somebody different in here. The media wants the Dolphins to stay mediocre, and now we are winning. It's an issue. Our QB should retire, etc. It's absolutely crazy. You're absolutely right. It's nuts. They do want him to retire. For what? I have no idea. And now they failed. They've been found out. It's nuts. I mean, guys, there's a whole bunch of comments here. I can't get to them all. I just wanted to get this breaking news out. Please join me tomorrow when we go live at 12:30, I believe, for the game against the Jets. Now, with all this information in hand, let's get behind Teddy, get the Jets spanked, and get back, regroup, get Tua ready if he's ready to get in. And I can't wait. It's going to be a great season. I think we've learned a lot from what they've been trying to do here. And this isn't going to be the end. Somebody, I think Barry Jackson maybe, somebody's going to have to start digging and getting more information and possibly get a hold of that, what do you call it, unaffiliated neurological consultant, and find out what was that hostility for. But as of right now, we now know with no uncertainty the NFL and the NFLPA lied and colluded to get Tua Tagovailoa off the field. It's already been proven. The report's written. It's in black and white. This is really bad. Guys, I got to jump. Thank you for much. I didn't expect this many people would jump on for an impromptu stream, but it's been great. I can't wait till tomorrow. 12:30 tomorrow. Jump on.